jiu-jitsu still got a long way to go to unite as a community. I think it's still too cliquey. I think it's still too, not even, I mean, to the point where I don't even think jiu-jitsu will ever be in the Olympics because of how, privatized and everything's about the profit. But I think as far as a community and being an academy owner, we're seeing all the topics we're talking about, growing the youth of this society, because everybody's got this, victimized mentality, or when it comes to supporting the military when they get out, people that are serving as police officers that need more training. I think jiu-jitsu's got a long way to go still, but that's why I also think there's a lot that still can be done. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But I'm just focusing on, like you said, our community. I try to keep it small because I know those are the people that I can reach in front of me most likely. But anything that I could do to get it out to as many people as I can is super important. But I do have to agree. It's just, there's a lot of division. People don't really want to come together. Some really do, and it's really good to see. But it's difficult. It's super competitive, and it's come from another culture. That when the Brazilians came over, and then the Americans, it kind of bump heads a little bit from time to time. But if we could bring that unity for the sport, I think it'd be a game changer. But I think it's going to be a while for that.
Yeah, I mean, specifically in Long Island, New York here, I mean, even just talking about West Coast versus East Coast jiu-jitsu, just in the culture of the academies, it's like, a world of difference. I feel West Coast just seems to be more about people training with each other. And you see that on the East Coast here in New York. There's a lot of schools that are still very like, just train with your own academy and things like that. Yeah. But I think the West Coast is more kind of like open to training with everybody else. And I feel like if you're paying tuition and you have your home academy and you're supporting that, you can train wherever you want. We don't own our students, you know what I mean? So like, I think that mentality, once we get out of that old school kind of like, you're a trader if you train anywhere else kind of thing, I think that's going to be more of the growth of the sport.
Don't we even have a name for that?
What's that?
Don't we even have a name for that student that that?
Oh yeah, the creance, right?
Yeah,
creance. Yeah. Oh, we've heard that plenty. Trust me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. Even in our small community, there's a couple of small academies, and some of them we have open mats, and we tell everybody bring, anybody's welcome. Any academy, any gym, bring your friends, whatever. Somebody wants to come try something, whatever you want to do. Just come through, right?
People that started that jiu-jitsu, that they train jiu-jitsu nowadays within the last few years don't realize how it was back in, when I started in 1999 and got my blue belt in 2001. I mean, you were a trader. You can get your ass kicked if you ever went to another, the academy down the road to even train with your buddies. That's how bad it was. It's even to this day, you still see that. There's a lot of schools that you need still permission. You need to go to your professor and ask permission to train anywhere else. I mean, it just blows my mind.
If you went to train with another academy, you had to go to your buddy's garage and roll some mats out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. I don't want a professor to find out.
It's a very closed-minded perspective that I hope is being broken down and is kind of encouraged to train at other academies. Obviously, be loyal to your home base. I'll always be loyal to Soka Brazilian. Alexander Soka, he's a brother to me. He's a professor. Who awarded me my black belt. I will always be loyal to the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu lineage, but at the same time, living 2 hours sometimes with traffic away, it's hard for me to train at my home base academy. And so it is important to network and have a multitude of different academies that you can train at. Obviously do so respect and be an ambassador for your home base, be an ambassador for your sport. And I think that's what we need, man. We need more unification, less, honestly, egotism, because that's what it comes down to. People feel insecure to train at other gyms, even if it is an open mat, and more acceptance. Jiu-jitsu is for everyone. It's for, my friend Anthony Giraldo, who's got cerebral palsy, who doesn't have the function of his two legs and only has use of one of his arms. It's for, the person who's a triple amputee. It's for everyone, and we need to embody and embrace that so that everyone feels included on the mats. It's not just for the jock and the athlete, it's for the single mom raising 2 kids by herself, who maybe is coming from an abusive background and wants to learn the skill sets so that she can protect herself and our kids from harm, and so the more we embody that philosophy, the more lives we can change, and the more we can grow the jiu-jitsu community for the positive, right reasons, not for the money grab, not for the ego, not for the power, not for the fucking drama, but for safeguarding and helping those in a myriad of different ways. So
yeah, and to touch on that, man, jiu-jitsu it's a team thing, it's a family thing. I love all that aspect, but it's your journey, right? Your thing. If you go find, growth and happiness at another place, then I'm more than happy for you. If that's the case, I don't know what we wouldn't have to help you in that way, but if that happens to be the case, by all means, go grow and in the sport and in your mind and in all those things somewhere else. You have my blessing, right? Because it's your thing, right?
Yeah,
I'm new. I'm like, my journey is very, very young compared to all of you guys. But I'll say this on the thing about, if there's anybody listening that's in where I sit, you're coming into this thing and you're new, you're a couple years in. I absolutely love my home base and who I support. Like that's my foundation. That's my rock. That's where I'm going to grow up into. But man, because I travel so much and because of the media that I get to do, everywhere I go, I try to make it a point to go train somewhere. And every single time, and there's been some, a lot of great experiences, a couple weird experiences, but in the grand scheme of things, every single time that I've gone trained somewhere else, I've got with Gareth, I've gone to Kansas City, I've gone down to South Florida, I pick up something completely different for my toolbox, and I'm able to come home and I'm just that much better, that one technique better. So, I would say don't be afraid to go. I mean, it's a community, and you'd be surprised how welcome you will be if you just walk in and be like, "Hey, I'm traveling. Can I jump in a class? Can I train here?" And I mean, almost every single time that I've done that, everybody's like, "Yeah, come on in, man. Let's welcome. Who are you and where are you coming from?" And it's a very positive experience. And I always pick up that, in the military, we had tools for your toolbox, and that's, and everywhere I've always gone, I've always picked up one little tool for my toolbox that helps round out all the other little things that I have going on.
That's how it should be. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
And I also realize how awesome my gym is when I
when you come back.